Dear students, now we are going to discuss a demonstration of osmosis with the help of a thistle funnel experiment and a potato osmoscope. First definition. After that, what about a demonstration of osmosis by two types of experiments given in our textbook? So what are the possible definitions for osmosis? So movement of water, water from a region to other region. Okay, from a region with a high psi W value, with a high psi W to a region with a low psi W value. Okay, so we can change this definition with other terms also. We can replace psi W values also. So this is one type of definition. And second one, and compulsory movement of water from a region with a high psi W value to a region with a low psi W value across or through the membrane. Through membrane. And replace these things from a region with fill up all these things. I'm replacing this one. Same as this. From a region with a less number of less solutes to the region with more solutes. Okay, less number of solutes to a region with more number of solutes. Third definition, a region with more water to a region with less water across the membrane, common statement. With more water to a region with less water across the membrane. Fourth one, with less negative psi s, less negative side of psi s value. A region with less negative psi s to a region with more or high negative psi s. And the fifth one we can take from a region with a more psi s value to a region with a less psi s value across the membrane. For all these statements, across the membrane. From a region with a less negative psi W, less negative psi W value to a region with a more negative psi W value. So like that, movement of water from a region with a high free energy, more free energy, or more chemical potential. Here, chemical potential means amount of free energy required to perform some work. So, movement of water from a region with a high free energy to the region with a low free energy. So, like that, we can prepare so many definitions for osmosis. Okay, right? Now, how to demonstrate osmosis? Demonstration of osmosis with the help of demonstration of osmosis. First one is potato osmoscope. Potato osmoscope with the help of potato. Okay, so this is a take one potato, cut the potato like this. So this is a cut potato like a U-shaped potato, and the bottom of that potato must be very thin. Okay, so the bottom layer must be very thin. Now fill it with a sucrose solution. Sucrose solution. So solution means definitely psi W value maximum extent is a negative value only. Okay, so here initially the psi W value is, for example, minus 0.6, and this is the initial level of sucrose solution, and now it is dropped into a beaker with a pure water. Dropped into or inserted into a beaker with pure water. So for example, pure water is up to here. Pure water. Definitely take a psi W value, for example, 0. Now, what about the direction of movement of water? Definitely from beaker to sucrose solution. Leave this experiment like that for 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay, so what about the level of sucrose solution? The level of sucrose solution is, for example, here. And water level almost a little bit dropped, not completely, little bit dropped. So this is a final level of solution. Okay, and furtherly, there is no movement of water. For example, only there is no movement of water. Reason, on this sucrose solution, in the sucrose solution, a pressure is created. What is that pressure? Osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure. Okay, so osmotic pressure means a positive hydrostatic pressure which is created within the sucrose solution due to the entry of water molecules. Here, the definition for osmotic pressure is pressure, positive pressure, positive pressure required to stop entry of water molecules into potato. Simple thing, if the sucrose column is raised, definitely some pressure is created. That pressure, simply to understand, osmotic pressure. So the sign of osmotic pressure, OP, it is osmotic pressure, OP, osmotic pressure, is sign of this one is a positive sign only. Simply positive hydrostatic pressure. But what about psi S? Psi S is nothing but a solute or osmotic potential. Osmotic potential. See the difference. This one osmotic pressure. What is osmotic pressure? Pressure created within the sucrose solution or pressure required to stop entry of water molecules from beaker into sucrose solution. And what about psi S? Solute potential or osmotic potential. So what about the sign of solute potential? Definitely negative. Reason it is able to decrease psi W value are able to make the psi W or water potential negative value. But here, what about osmotic pressure able to make a psi W positive? Initially, what about the psi W value? Minus 0.6. After the addition of water, for example only, now psi W value, finally, for example, minus 0.2. So more negative to less negative, more negative to less negative. So what about psi W value? Here it is decreased, here increased. So osmotic pressure is able to increase psi W value by reducing its negative value, right? So here osmotic pressure, whatever the amount of osmotic pressure is created because of osmotic potential only. So osmotic pressure is the function of psi S only. Psi S only. For example, in this system, for example only, if psi S value, for example only, psi S value is minus 0.6, for example only. Okay, minus 0.6, for example only. And what about osmotic pressure required to stop further movement of water into it is 0.6. Okay, so numerically 0.6, 0.6, same or not? What is the difference between psi S and osmotic pressure? Sign is the difference. Numerically similar, but sign is different. So this one is a negative, this one is a positive. Numerically similar or not? My 0.6, 0.6. So numerically similar, OP and OP are solute potential are same, but sign is value positive, but numerically same or not? So that's about a demonstration of osmosis by potato osmoscope. So here that potato is permitting movement of water molecules only. So this part, our potato, is acting as a membrane. You can take a semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane. So generally semi-permeable membrane, for example, only actually this is not a semi-permeable membrane, acting as a membrane, acting as a membrane, acting as membrane. Okay, so here we are going to demonstrate osmosis. Okay, right? So if it is a semi-permeable membrane, it allows movement of solvent only. If it is a selectively permeable membrane, it allows solvent and a certain number of solutes also. Okay, right? So for example, now both the systems are at equilibrium, for example, at equilibrium. Reason here, psi W values may be equal. For example, here psi W value initially 0, for example only. After increase in osmotic pressure, okay, for example, osmotic pressure is a 0.6 minus 0.6, 0.6. We'll get a psi W 0 if they are at equilibrium. Okay, right? Next one, Thistle funnel experiment. Okay, so this is a Thistle funnel, graduated scale is present. Graduated means a scale. For example only, here onwards, for example, 2 ml, 3 ml, 4 ml, 5 ml, like that, graduated tube with scale, and remaining part of that one. So this is a Thistle funnel. Okay. So this one is a broad mouth, ends with a narrow one. This area is a narrow mouth. Okay. So that is a Thistle funnel. Okay, so now we need a membrane, semi-permeable membrane. For example, take egg. So this is a egg. So outer coat is a hard shell is present, to which one membrane is attached. White colored membrane is present. How to take out that membrane? So this is a white colored membrane which is opposite to shell part. So simply drop this one into a beaker containing diluted or dilute hydrochloric acid for few 1 hour, no problem. Okay, so what about this white colored shell is dissolved in diluted hydrochloric acid, and take it out. Now this is with a membrane. Okay, yellow colored part. Okay, yolk part and albumin part, white colored part, albumin part. So put a small hole here and take out albumin protein part and yolk part, yellow part. Remove them. After removing those two things, take that membrane here and tie the membrane, this membrane, that egg membrane, this egg membrane, and that is a selectively permeable membrane. So this is a semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane, not selective permeable membrane. Okay, so now it is inserted into a beaker with a pure water, and before that one, fill it. Fill it with a sucrose solution. For example, the level of sucrose solution is at a 3 ml level, for example. So up to here. Initial level of sucrose solution. And a stand and other things are required with the help of stand. And that is with a stage also for support. And this one is to hold a TISIL funnel. Okay. To hold a TISIL funnel. Okay, right. And this one is dropped into a beaker containing pure water. For example, pure water level. After a certain period of time, definitely, what about the level of the sucrose solution? For example, here, only. Final level of sucrose solution. Here also we can use one statement. Osmotic pressure. Because of entry of water molecules from beaker into TISIL funnel, a positive hydrostatic pressure is created that is called as osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure means a pressure which is required to stop entry of water molecules. Or even before equilibrium, if the mouth is closed with a thumb, it is able to create some pressure that will stop entry of water molecules into TISIL funnel. Okay, so simply, what is osmotic pressure? Pressure required to stop entry of water molecules into TISIL funnel. So here osmotic pressure value is equal to solute potential value, but sign is different, numerical is same. And here the question is, for example, sucrose also transport into TISIL funnel. For example, if it is a selectively permeable membrane, definitely some amount of sucrose will diffuse into TISIL funnel. Will they reach equilibrium? Definitely. If sucrose is equally distributed, if pressure is equal, definitely the psi W values of both the systems will reach a same value. Okay, right? So that is about a TISIL funnel experiment used to demonstrate osmosis. And next one is plasmolysis. So before moving into plasmolysis, we should know what are the types of solutions. Solutions types. First one, isotonic solution. Isotonic solutions means equally concentrated. They are at equilibrium. For example, take two cells. A cell, B cell. Two cells are there. So between these two cells, there is no movement of water. At equilibrium, this arrow indicates at equilibrium. So what is a isotonic solution? Osmotic pressure, given statement, osmotic pressure of A and B is same. If osmotic pressure of any two cells which are side by side in contact with each other, or two different solutions, whatever it is, if their osmotic pressure values are same, definitely they are isotonic solutions. Or we can use one more statement also. Same concentration, same solutes, or same pressure also, or same psi W values also. Furtherly, if it is extended. And second one, hypotonic solution. So hypotonic solution means less concentrated, less concentrated solution. Number of solutes are very less. Diluted solution. So less concentrated means psi W value is more. Negative value of psi W very less. So hypotonic solution, hypo, less. Third one, hypertonic solutions, more concentrated. More concentrated solutions. Okay. Now, what about plasmolysis? For example, this is a beaker, and into which a cell is dropped. If there is no movement of water between beaker and a cell, both the systems are with isotonic conditions. Next, beaker and some solution, whatever it is, I'll tell you. If water is moving from beaker solution into cell, so what about a solution present in beaker is hypotonic, less concentrated. And what about the cytoplasm of the cell? Hypertonic. Hypertonic solutions are first able to take up water. Now come back. What about plasmolysis? So here there is no movement of water. Here from beaker into concerned cell. Now what is plasmolysis? Beaker with a hypertonic solution. Hypertonic solution. And a cell with a hypotonic condition. Cytoplasm of that one is cell with a hypotonic solution. According to the description, what about the direction of movement of water from cell into the beaker? Okay. Now, what is plasmolysis? What are the steps present in plasmolysis? If a cell whose cytoplasm is hypotonic and dropped into hypertonic solution, what are the events? So for example, this is a cell dropped into a beaker with a hypertonic solution. In this cell, what are the boundaries? Cell wall and plasma membrane. Already I told you, to understand various vital activities in physiology, knowledge in cell structure, basic knowledge in anatomy is mandatory. So this is a vacuole. Vacuole. Okay, so this one is dropped into hypertonic solution. So beaker with a hypertonic solution. Now, what are the steps one by one? Okay, so initially, what about the direction of movement of water? From where to where? Okay, cell wall. So water is from cytoplasm into hypertonic solution. Water is transported from cytoplasm into hypertonic solution. First event. Next event, from vacuole. Second step, from vacuole into the cytoplasm. Second event. Now So this is event one, first event. So initially, water is from cytoplasm into hypertonic solution. Actually, it was not given. Initially, once that a cell is dropped into hypertonic solution, initially hypertonic solution is moving into the some space, narrow space present between cell wall and membrane, but not passing through the cell membrane. So for example, hypertonic solution is in between cell wall and cell membrane. Reason, cell wall is permeable to all materials. Actually, the initial step is a transportation of hypertonic solution into the space, narrow space present between cell membrane and cell wall. Now that hypertonic solution is able to take up the water. Compulsory, hypertonic solution must be in contact with the cell membrane. Okay, so if they question you, initial event is transportation of hypertonic solution across the cell wall and moving on to the outer surface of the cell membrane. Okay, right? So this one is a vacuole, right? So during plasmolysis, what about the direction of movement of water from cytoplasm to hypertonic solution? Second event is from cell sap, vacuoloplasm into cytoplasm. Under normal conditions, plasmolysis is a abnormal condition under zero climatic conditions only. If the cell is exposed to high temperature, plasmolysis, this is one type of dehydration only. What is this one? Dehydration. Dehydration, general term, and technically it is a exoosmosis. Out of the cell, exoosmosis. Water is coming out of the cell is exoosmosis. If water is moving into the cell, endoosmosis. Is one type of dehydration, complete dehydration, plasmolysis actually. Under normal conditions, what about the direction of movement of water? For example, this is a normal cell, turgid cell, for example. What about the direction of movement of water? Here, what are the events which are taking place in the turgid cell? What is turgid cell? A cell with turgor pressure. So initially, solutes. Yesterday we discussed solutes. Solutes means metabolic byproducts, waste materials. Actually, vacuole is a repository, storehouse, dustbin of a cell or not. Solutes are actively pumped into vacuole. Now, what about the concentration of solutes? Increasing. Now, water is transported from cytoplasm into vacuole. Now, cytoplasm have to absorb water from the surrounding medium, whatever it is. This is the direction of movement of water. Solutes into vacuole. Next, water from cytoplasm into vacuoloplasm. Now, water from surrounding medium into cytoplasm. But here, see, water from cytoplasm into hypertonic solution. Next, from vacuole to cytoplasm. So, after withdrawal of a certain amount of water, what about a cell membrane? This is cell wall, rigid cell wall. Rigid cell wall. Okay. So plasma membrane is separated from cell wall at corners. Protoplast separated, protoplast separated at a corners only, at corners only. At corners only, separated at corners of the cell. This stage is called as a incipient plasmolysis. Incipient plasmolysis. This event is temporary only. Transient phenomenon. Immediately that will be plasmolyzed. So next stage, cell wall. Completely contracted protoplast. Okay, protoplast contracted. Contracted means complete maximum loss of water. So now this cell is called as a plasmolized cell, completely maximum extent dehydrated. Next stage is the death of the cell only. Water is very less, 1%, 2% only. So this is a plasmolized cell. In a plasmolized cell, what about a psi p? Pressure value is negative, negative only. For example, minus 0.9, for example. Definitely solute potential is negative value only. There is no change. That depends on number of solutes. So what about psi p value? Completely negative, negative hydrostatic pressure, loss of water. So if they question you, what about the psi p value of a plasmolized cell is a negative sign, minus something, whatever it is, minus 9, minus 10. Overall, it is negative sign. So this is a plasmolized cell. And next question is, what is the liquid present in between? So the space present between cell wall and plasma membrane. This is the space. Which one is occupied? What type of solution is present here? Go for hypertonic solution only. Hypertonic solution. Reason, there is no equilibrium between those two. Reason, available water is completely zero water, almost going to die. Still, that hypertonic solution is able to absorb water if the protoplast is having water, but there is no water. Means definitely the solution present between cell wall and protoplast is hypertonic solution. So plasmolysis leads to death of the cell. If it is delayed, if it is not immediately hydrated, it leads to death of the cell. Reason, no metabolic reactions, metabolic imbalance that leads to death of the cell. Wilting, for example, in summer season, wilting of leaves is because of dehydration and little bit plasmolysis. For example, fingers dropped into concentrated pure milk, definitely you observe some sunken areas in the skin of that one. For example, powerful detergent. For example, we are washing cloth with powerful detergents. If you observe after 1 hour or 2 hours of washing, definitely you will find some sunken areas. That is because of loss of water. Or dip finger into concentrated alcohol. Definitely it leads to dehydration. And at the time of injection, they are using some spirit here. Sterilization. So what is the role of that spirit here that is able to cause dehydration, plasmolysis, and death of the concerned cell? For example, we are adding salt to the pickles, more amount of salt. Purpose of addition of salt is of course for taste. But biologically, what about the purpose of adding more salt to pickle or chutney, something, whatever it is, to cause plasmolysis of bacterial and fungal cells. If it is not properly salted, definitely it will encourage the growth and development of fungi and bacteria. In the case of sweets, confectionery items, we have to add more amount of sucrose, more amount of sucrose or some other sweetener to prevent damage caused by growth and development of fungi and bacteria. So the purpose of addition of that one is to cause plasmolysis of concerned bacterial spores and fungal spores. For example, now this one is dropped into now plasmolized cell. Now it is dropped into a beaker containing, dropped into beaker with now beaker is with a hypotonic solution, less constant, same cell. Drop that one into a beaker containing hypotonic solution. Now, what about the direction of movement of water into the cell? Now, what about the protoplast? Expansion. Okay, so this phenomena is called as a deplasmolysis. Removal of plasmolysis, coming back to normal conditions. Okay, so the cell is getting turgidity, turgor, pressure, right? So deplasmolized cell is a turgid cell or maybe fully turgid cell. What is turgid cell? a cell with a Turgor pressure. So this phenomena, plasmolysis, is very rare case under certain conditions only. For example, if the root system is having the soil in the area where the root system is present, lot of salts present. For example, drop 10 or 30 or 40 kgs of urea in the area where root system is present. Definitely, it leads to what? Dehydration and death of a root system. Okay, right? So that's why mangrove plants are able to get rid of a more amount of sodium by following anti-Porter mechanism. Mangroves are able to survive in salty localities. They're actually halophiles, able to survive in the area where more salts are present. Reason, they're having anti-Porter mechanism. They prevent plasmolysis by expelling out a more amount of sodium by following anti-Porter mechanism. Okay, so we can remove plasmolysis. That removal of plasmolysis is nothing but deplasmolysis. For example, grapes, dehydrated, kismis. The kismis is a plasmolized one. If it is dropped into pure water, for example, we'll get grapes. Okay, right? So plasmolysis is a very rarest phenomena. Next, definitely they will ask these questions. What about Psi-P values of Psi-P values only? First one, plasmolized cell. Plasmolized cell. In this case, Psi-P value is negative sign only. Minus something, whatever it is, overall negative, plasmolized cell. Second one, flaccid cell or flaccid cell. What is a flaccid cell? In the case of plasmolized cell, water out. So this one is exoosmosis. What is a flaccid cell? Okay, there is no net movement of water. Okay, so there is no movement. Osmotic pressure of this one is equal to the surrounding medium. So no net movement of water. In this case, if they question you, what about Psi-P value? Take 0 only. Of course, it was not given in your textbook. Go for 0. Reason. So here, what is a pressure potential value? Turgor pressure. So in a flaccid cell, some amount of water already took exit. Because of that, little bit the membrane is separated from the cell wall. Little bit only. What is the Turgor pressure? Pressure exerted by cell membrane on the cell wall. For example, if gap is small gap only, narrow gap is present between cell wall and cell membrane, there will be no pressure exerted on cell wall. So that's why take 0 only. Next, a third one, turgid cell. Turgid cell. In a turgid cell, not fully turgid cell. Turgid cell. In a turgid cell, Psi-P value, take positive value only. Next, one more question, fourth one. If they question you, fully turgid cell, fully turgid cell. Cell is fully turgid. In a fully turgid cell, psi W value is 0. Psi W value is 0. Remember these are dialogues. Definitely they will ask these questions in NEET examination. Fully turgid cell. psi w value is 0, right? So that is about plasmolysis.